I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Opened in 1960 by Bruton Smith and NASCAR driving legend Curtis Turner, with the running of the longest stock car race in history, the World 600. The Charlotte Motor Speedway closed before it would ultimately become the home track of so many NASCAR teams. Just a year after the first race, the mile-and-a-half oval was in bankruptcy, done in by a huge infield rock formation that ballooned construction costs far beyond what its two founders had forecast. Almost 60 years later, everything is different, and more than 94,000 seats ring the racetrack, which was the first super speedway to install lights for night racing, the first racetrack to incorporate condominium apartment complexes overlooking the racing surface, the first to build an office complex with the same view, and the first racetrack to sell naming rights, and the first to open a year-round club where members can spectate during races and socialize with fellow club members at other times. Everything is very different from 1960, except for very one thing. Charlotte Motor Speedway still owned by the Smith family. These days, the Charlotte Motor Speedway is the queen of the SMI empire, with the legendary Humpy Wheeler managing the day-to-day operations and promoting the races with flair and imagination. The track became one of the most successful in the world. Tonight, it's the Old Fart Sim Racing Concrete Floors Company Next Gen season finale, and it's coming up next here on HBR TV. Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV, joined in the booth by Zach Millett. How are you, Zach?
Pretty good, Steve. How's it going, man?
We're a little under the weather here. It's the first race back since, I think it was race 9 last Wednesday, I think is the last race that we broadcast. A little under the weather here, but we're going to try and power through it. Wasn't able to get anybody to cover, and, well, these guys paid up front, so we're going to make sure we get it done for them. Race details tonight. 120 laps, stage breaks, I believe lap 25 and 50. 64-degree Outside ambient temperature, 58% humidity, cloudy skies, a 4-mile-per-hour breeze, and track temperature is nice and cool at 67 degrees. Gonna make for some quick lap times. We've already seen some in practice already. We'll get to those in just a moment, but we do have a championship to decide here tonight. It's the final race of the season, and here's how the points stack up. Mike Rominger, 358 points. A very fast Gary Zlipinski, 356. Norman Clark, Noel Kors, Craig White, that's the top 5, back to 337. Things are tight there. That's a tie, really, essentially, between Kors and White at 337 points. They're only 2 back out of 3rd, so there could be some changes there. 331, Paul Witt, Corey Gray, 311. I think that's about as far back as you're going to be able to go. I think 47 points is the max you can earn here in one of these races. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as the race progresses, and hopefully the admins can get to us here post-race. Let us know who ends up becoming our champion. It's going to be a good one to watch. But meanwhile, practice is just about wrapped up. Let's go down trackside here, get a look at whereas everybody's stacking up here, as practice actually does crack 0. Slabinski at 29.73. In fact, we'll look at those race results real quick before we get into qualifying. Slapinski was fastest, 29.736. Rominger, almost 3, no, not even a half a tenth off that, pretty close. 28 hundredths of a second back. Trent Ringler, 3rd. Mike Martin, Noel Kors back in the top 5, so on and so forth. Decent field here tonight. And again, Zach Millett usually races with these guys, but not in the championship hunt, and definitely helping us out here at HBR TV to get this broadcast done. So again, Zach, thanks for being here, and let's get down to it.
Absolutely, Steve. Let's do it.
Craig White on the track, the 3. Old Fart Sim Racing Ford Mustang.
You know, Steve, I'm anxious to see what kind of times these guys crank out in qualifying. I imagine there are some draft used in some of those practice times, but boy, 29.73, that is absolutely moving.
Well, Craig White decided he was going to not start his lap and jump back to the pits. Gary Zlipinski, he's in the throttle here. I think this is lap 1. Yes, it is his first lap. We're going to watch both laps with Gary.
Looks like he's maybe going to get a warm-up lap here, pretty much a sacrifice the first lap, get a better run for the second.
Now, you and I were talking earlier. You got the opportunity to take some laps around the Speedway in the next-gen car. Tell us your initial thoughts. I know you didn't get a long run in, but what's the key to this place?
Boy, you know, there's so many things. This car, I don't have a whole lot of experience with this car, but I feel like you can push it pretty well. But boy, it's just like if you push it just a little bit too far, it cracks out from under you and starts spinning out, or you burn the tires up too much. I would imagine tire conservation is going to be the name of the game. Maybe different fuel strategies are going to be played out in this race. Maybe guys in the back will be short pitting it. Maybe, make a run to the front at the end of this race. But I'd take care of those tires as much as possible. This track's gonna, it's gonna make some pretty good racing towards the end, and I'd want a good set of tires under me.
Slabinski finishes his lap throwing 29.905. Currently sits P1. Go to Mike Rominger, currently the points leader coming into tonight. Zach, I got to echo that a little bit with this new next-gen Cup car. I don't have a ton of experience with it. It looks like Rominger is going to jump off like Craig did as well. So we'll go to Craig White's back on track. He's got 1 lap in. 30.43 is his first time by. But the tire on this, the 18-inch wheel compared to that old big tire sidewall that they used to have, you could lean on that sidewall and let the car hang out just a little bit. You can't do that as much with this car. It's almost like driving a sports car. As Craig White goes P2. It goes to the edge. You can run it sideways a little bit until you can't, and then you're around like you were talking about.
Yeah, that's it. It's just so instant. It doesn't give you a whole lot of warning. It just kind of takes off on you.
Noel Kors on the Speedway. First lap, 30.630. And there you have it. Little wiggle out of 4. Kors gets into the fence. That's going to waste lap 2. Paul Witt had some pace just about everywhere we've gone. The Spidey amazing friends Toyota Camry. Off turn 2 down the back. First lap of 30.690. Lap 2 for Witt, 30.213. And let's see, Rominger's got a first lap in, 30.136. He's fourth quick on the board.
See what we're looking at for lap 2 here.
Not enough. Outside front row at 30.013 for Mike Rominger. That's going to about wrap it up for everybody here. We've got a few cars didn't take time. Quite a few, actually. Just about everybody outside the top 10 opted not to hit the track. We didn't miss them. They just didn't go. But we'll get that squared away here when we get to our starting grid in just a moment. So let's get on to our starting grid here for the final race of the season here at Charlotte, the Old Fart Sim Racing Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series. Again, from virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. On the pole position, it is the number 78 of Gary Zlipinski. He comes in second in points tonight, trying to steal this championship out from underneath Mike Rominger, who starts to his outside in the 951. Row number 2 belongs to Corey Gray in the number 29 machine. Craig White rolls off in the 4th spot. Norman Clark out of New Zealand. Yep, that's where he's from. He starts in the 5th spot. Paul Witt, the 429 machine, he'll start in the 6th spot. Trent Ringler, the 29, will start 7th. The gas man, Frank Gramuglia, rolls off 8th. Joshua Deese will start from the 9th spot. Noel Kors, the number 15 High Rock machine, will start 10th. Harold Decker rolls off 11th. Earl Laterell in the 12. He'll start 12th. Michael Martin, the number 77, he'll start from the 13th position. Michael Howlett, the 33, starts 14th. Alan McEwen, the number 45, he'll start 15th starting position. 16th goes to James Randall. 17th, David Werner. And David Wasselchuk, the 976, starts 18th with Mean Joe Green, number 42, starting 19th on the field. That's your starting grid here, the Old Fart Sim Racing Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series from Charlotte. Field formed up nicely on the front stretch here as they get ready to roll off for their one and only pace lap before they take the green flag. Well, me and Eric usually do this on Tuesday nights, Zach, as far as picking a winner. And I know there might be some obvious ones out, but there's plenty of guys that can still take this win aside from the 78 and the 951. But since you're helping me out, I'll let you go first. Who's your pick tonight?
Well, first thing tells me to maybe go between Gary or Mike because, heck, they're pretty obvious choices. But I think, I'm going to go with Corey Gray tonight. I think he's got what it takes. He's plenty fast enough for this. And I know he's real good at the long runs and the strategy, so I'm going to go with him.
Well, you're a better man than me. I'm picking Gary Zlipinski to win just because, you know what? He has been fast as Xfinity Internet. Yeah, I'm going to use that one just because it's a fun line. They're not a sponsor, but why not? Zlipinski starting on pole position here. He's a bit of an underdog, not necessarily by skill or things of that nature, but coming in here 2 points below. I don't know. I just like to see the guy that comes in second place. Got to win this race, I think. He's got to beat Rominger, and I think the only way he's going to do that is if he wins the race. I'm cheering on a story here, so I guess we're going to go with Gary Zlipinski, the 78, for the win tonight.
I don't blame you with that. He's definitely fast.
And you know firsthand, I mean, you've been out here with these guys. You got to win on the season, so that's very impressive for starters. A lot of these guys in here were, wow, man, if Zach can keep up with these guys, he's pretty good. That's my best Earl Laterell impression, but it is the truth. These guys are fast. You're fast everywhere we go for the most part, unless it's got dirt on it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely not the dirt. Not a huge fan of that, but yeah, it's one of the few leagues that every single person in this league, they have pace, and every single person could win at, any given point.
Well, we're going to watch it here. We do have 3 drivers that did not take the green flag, it appears. Joe Green, David Wasserchuk, David Werner.
Green flag.
Green flag waves, and we're underway from Charlotte. First lap in the books. Gary Lipinski out in front. Mike Rominger a half car behind and closing off turn number 2. The 951's got a run. Taking a look inside.
Steve, I know this is lap 2, but I love seeing these two up front.
I just want to see him go back and forth, but I don't know if it's going to happen. These guys are awful good at trying to save their stuff. It is a 120 lap race. We do have stage breaks lap 25 and 50, but you still got to save it in that third stage. You can't just chew it up, going back and forth, swapping positions. You've got to be there at the end. And these guys out front, they're not stupid.
Well, these guys both led a lap already, so there goes that bonus point.
Yep. Craig White in the 3rd spot, just behind there. Corey Gray in 4th. Paul Witt up to the 5th position already, 1 spot gained. Craig White with the high side, though, already trying to make a run. Cuts down a little loose on exit, gathers it back up. It's going to lose a little
save.
Track position, and I don't know if Corey's going to get to his outside here or not, but no. Craig White stays on the bottom. A little too early, I think, to try that high side the way that he was, but he's just trying to get a feel for it, it seems. Oh, loose again. Oh, contact with Paul Witt. Paul Witt saves it.
Oh, these guys can drive.
Good Lord, good Lord.
That's one thing too, Steve. If you get these tires hot, they stay hot for at least a few laps. It's hard to get the car back to normal.
Well, that's the thing we talked about with the sidewall. I mean, a real short sidewall. You've got really no, I guess you could even call that sidewall a heat sink in the older tire. They would cool down a little bit faster. You could dissipate some of that heat energy downward into the sidewall with these. It's a low profile tire. There's less surface area to deal with as far as that end of it. There's certainly more surface area on the track, but that's the friction surface, the contact patch. You're going to be building heat, so it's very difficult to cool these tires down. You really need to cut down the pace if you're going to try and cool them off. It doesn't look like Craig White's doing that as he goes by Paul Witt here once again, back in the 4th spot, right where he started. Trent Ringler out of shape off turn number 2.
I guess we're going to be seeing a lot of that tonight. It's so easy to do.
Now, is it just easy to do early in the run, or does it get worse throughout the run? I have minimal experience in the next-gen car. It's just not my cup of tea as far as how it feels. But again, you're rather new to it as well, but you got more laps in it than I do. But is that something that is new? Is that, first 5-10 laps, or does it goes away, or does it progressively get worse throughout the run?
Well, I think here it actually goes away. I think the longer the run, it gets a little more predictable.
Look at the lead drivers out front. Rominger has it on Lipinski for the time being.
Look at these lap times. They're just basically running mirror laps of each other.
30.45 for Rominger and a 44 for Lipinski. Corey Gray not too shabby with a 38. He's the fastest in the top 3 at the moment. Corey Gray in the fence just a little bit there.
He's running that Larson line.
Taking a look at some of our onboard pictures for tonight's event. Got 4 different cameras on every car. You're not going to miss an inch of the action, in car or otherwise. Halfway through stage number 1 here, 12 or so laps in. 25 stage 1, 50 stage 2.
You know, I'm curious to see when these front two cars, if at all, move up to that high line.
I don't think you're going to see much of it out of the leaders, at least until you get later into stage 2, even later into stage 3. There's really no need for it. They're keeping a similar pace between the two. They both might be content just running that way. You know, they both probably feel if we can just continue this here. Again, Rominger's in a happy position. If he finishes like this, championship's his, no doubt about it. But Lipinski's going to certainly push the issue here later on in the race. He has to finish in front of the 951 here tonight. I think he's got to make 2, maybe even 3 points. I'm not exactly sure what the tiebreaker would be between the two drivers.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to check that out. It might be, you know, the most wins might be the tiebreaker, but we'll have to check it out for sure.
Well, again, post-race, we're hoping we can get some details from the race admins, get us to notify specifics on championship winner. Tell you, Lipinski, though, all over Rominger like a cheap suit as he working in turns 1 and 2.
You know, Steve, this might be a little foreshadowing. I think maybe Gary's riding behind Rominger here. Maybe, you know, see the line he's running, conserve his tires, see what kind of run he's going to make towards the end of this race when it actually really counts.
Caught the apron a little bit, over-rotated off of turn 4, had to get out of the throttle a bit. Other battles throughout the field. Noel Coors in the 15 with the gas man, Frank Vermuglia. That was for position. Move Coors up to P8 as he starts to work around Craig White now. He might have that spot. Coors, the number 15 High Rock Vodka Camaro, completes the pass on Craig White. Craig started in the 4th position, has slowly dropped back towards the rear. Again, short first stage, so I don't know if he's dealing with some handling issues, and don't expect him to be trying to save tire for the end of the stage with only about 6.5 laps to go to close it out. Tightest battle on the racetrack right now is between Coors and now Norman Clark. Clark just up ahead there in the 09 machine. Norman, again, we talked about it earlier, out of New Zealand. Other side of the world, racing over here at virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, you can't beat that. You know, somebody's on the other side of the world and you're racing within inches of them.
You know, we do get a lot of crossover with that. You know, the iRacing service, of course, available worldwide for the most part. But from guys that I've spoken to that are out, whether it's the UK or Australia, New Zealand, what have you, the oval game just isn't quite up to par, at least from what I'm told, on that side of the world. So they try to come over here, race in the US servers, and seem to have a lot more fun with it. Cleaner racing. Faster guys, of course, but it is the polar opposite when you try to jump into the road course world when you go out to the UK and otherwise, because those guys, that's what they do. It's night and day.
Absolutely. Those guys are incredibly fast.
So Vali Odinson in the stream chat helping us out a little bit here. Tiebreaker is most top fives. I'm sorry, is top fives, then most top tens. Slipinski has 7 top fives. Rominger has 5. So tie would go to Slipinski, it seems like. Riley, thanks for chiming in there. Our little statistician there. Appreciate that. Meanwhile, Gary Slipinski has retaken the top spot. We were watching that mid-pack battle. We missed it. But let's take a look at it. I got a quick replay. Go real time here. Looks like Slipinski got a run off of 4. Goes to the inside through the dog leg. Rominger really doesn't contest it. Clears him into turn 1. Lap 24 about to go on the board. I believe this will be the last lap of the stage. So stage points will be paid here, so this is going to make a difference. I'm not 100% sure how they pay out on the stage points, but this may, in effect, tie both drivers for the lead in points if Slipinski continues and leads this stage to its conclusion. Slipinski at the line. Should have a caution here in just a moment. Race is past. They usually... There it is. Okay, so on the backstretch, we got the caution flag. Stage 1 complete. Gary Slipinski is your stage winner. And we'll get a word with Gary here, but we're going to let the pit stop cycle through so we don't mess them up for pit entry. Don't want to be trying to chime in and talk to a guy while he's trying to make the pit box, and then he misses the box. He blames the broadcast. We get fired. You miss the rest of the race. It's a lose-lose situation across the board.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, Zach, tell us, your stance on the pits here. Does everybody take 4 tires and just go? I mean, it's going to be a short stage to lap 50 anyway. Do you gamble? Everybody's got unlimited tires. I mean, it just seems obvious. You're going to go 4, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm going to top it off with gas, 4 tires, and do this quick little sprint to 50. And I'm actually gonna push the car this stint. I'm going to see what it's capable of, and just to see my limitations.
Stage 1, kind of a feeling out stage. Stage 2 is more aggressive feeling out stage, and stage 3, well, let's just get it to the finish line first, right?
Yeah, basically don't die. Yep.
Everybody down pit road. At least back to the top 10 and so forth. Looks like maybe Joe Green stays on the racetrack. Lap down. Okay. All the lead lap cars down pit lane for service. Gary Slipinski into the box. A little slow entry into the box.
Might be pretty close. It looks like they came to a stop at the exact same time.
It's going to be real quick. Slipinski got on the jack first. About a half second, it seems, if he can drop it and get out clean. He does. Slipinski's going to win the race off pit road. Rominger second. Third, Corey Gray, Trent Ringler, and Paul Witt. So that's the top 5.
It's a good pit stop for the Cone Police.
So let's see if we can pull Gary Slipinski into the broadcast booth, get a word with our stage winner. Gary, it's Steve and Zach in the HBR TV broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Gary, congratulations on winning stage 1. I'm not 100% sure about the points payout for the stages, but that's certainly going to help get you a little bit closer to Rominger in the points. 2 points behind coming in. What's your plan for the second stage? Try and win that too and get even closer? Or are you just going to feel the car out and see what it's going to do for stage 3?
I was kind of just feeling him out, see how his line was, see how hard he was pushing it. I kind of just let him go there, and I was riding behind him and let him go out there a little bit, and now it's time to go. No, I always the next one. The next one's time to go, and let's see how it goes from there. I'm just gonna play my game here, and I got a very good long run car, and I know I do, so I think I'll be all right in the end there.
Well, long run car, and he wins the short stage 1, so I think the rest of the field might be in trouble. Gary, good luck the rest of the way, man, and maybe we'll talk to you post-race.
Oh, hopefully. Thank you.
It's Gary Zlipinski, driver the number 78, your stage 1 winner. Kind of what Zach was talking about. He's going to kind of take it easy here and just get the car home clean and then go for it there in stage 3. Again, talking about having a good long run car. We're going to step aside, though, get a quick break out of the way, and we'll be back after this.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series, final race of the season here. Championship to be decided. Pace car about ready to peel off the racetrack. We're going to go under the green after our first caution, our stage caution, won by Gary Zlipinski. Pace car is off.
Green flag.
Green flag waves. Rominger in big trouble, hits the inside wall on the restart. The points leader in trouble. No caution. That's going to be the death nail. Rominger in big trouble. If he doesn't get a yellow here, he does have a fast repair, but he has got to get to pit lane to get this fixed. That car definitely under duress. Engine damage certain for that machine. Trying to get it back around. No caution. One car
Definitely
incident.
a broken toe link. You can see that left front just a bouncing around.
Mike Rominger, the points leader coming into tonight. We're going to get a look at it here in a minute. He's going to get the fast repair. While he is doing that, let's double check. Go back and watch the replay of the restart. This looked to be off turn number 2. We'll stay with Rominger this time. We're going to go full speed here. The 951, the Chevrolet, the black and Chevy orange there to the outside. Goes in through turn 1. Looked like he tried to get to the bottom. Yeah, just tries to turn to the bottom. The rear end comes around, catches the apron, almost saves it. Continues to chase it, and big impact with the wall. Bit of a net code issue for the damage, but nevertheless, still a hurt race car. Big championship implications here in stage number 2. Lipinski out in front. Looks like he's going to be settling down here, going to just run the laps clean to the end of the stage so he can pick up some more bonus points. Not sure how many laps down Rominger went. It might just be 1 right now, so he's not out of this. Again, with that second stage coming, he could definitely get back into it. The lucky dog, he'll get waved back around and back onto the lead lap, but he's still going to have to come from behind in that final stage. Oh, another one. Trent Ringler loose in the dog leg. Now we might get a caution. Nope, not yet. Still trying to save it.
Wow.
That could have been the best thing to happen to Mike Rominger, and it just didn't finish happening. Again, Zach, we talked about it early on. Cold tires, these things are a handful until they really get settled in.
They really are. They're just, it's so unpredictable, you know. It's fine one lap, and you feel like you don't even push the car, and the next lap is trying to step out on you. It's incredible. Now, Steve, this could be a bit of a strategy. I know Gary said he was just going to kind of ride the stage out, be conservative, but he knows what's going on. He knows that Rominger spun. And you think maybe he's going to push and try to put Rominger down a second lap? Because that could be the nail in the coffin if he could get that done.
It's hard to say. I'm trying to get an idea here. I don't have a track map programmed for this particular overlay, but we might be able to work something out here. So in the track map, the 951, that's Rominger. He's at the line. The 78, just coming off turn 4. So it's a possibility, but again, with the fast repair, they're all on equal tires still at this point. I just don't see Lipinski being able to track down Rominger in the amount of time we got left. We got 12 laps before the stage is over. He's not going to catch and pass Rominger with a clean car. I just don't see it happening.
Right, and looks like Mike's in the lucky dog position, so if he could just ride this out, he could get a whole new chance at life here going into the third stage.
Absolutely. Bill Corus, we see this a lot. Doesn't start super strong, but he was in the 10th position at the start of the race. Now he finds himself in the 2nd spot with Paul Witt on the back door. Usually Noel waits till stage 3 to start cranking into the top 3, but he's here early. It's last race of the season. He wants to get it done. So, Zach, I know you've raced with these guys a few times this season. Not a full season, because just work commitments and things. But how are these guys to race with? We know they're fast.
Well, you know, it's not just fast, it's clean. Every person in this league that I've raced around, they've always given me room. They always race with respect. It's a great group of guys. It's a lot of fun to be in their Discord in these races, too. They're a blast.
I haven't raced with them on any of the oval stuff, but they were running a radical league, very similar to what we were running over in Scar. So we popped over there and ran some races with those guys as well. I have to agree, they're all very clean and usually pretty fast as well. And Trent Ringler here trying to finish this pass on Frank Gramuglia on the 13. He's got Earl Latterell next into his sights. Earl running in the 7th spot in behind Harold Decker. Earl's really putting the pressure on the 9 there. Tries to go a little wide off of 4, trying to get the run into 1. Loses some ground, about 2 car lengths. Earl really trying to make this spot, make this pass work on Decker. Gains a lot of time on corner entry, but Decker tends to drive out of the corner a little bit faster. Earl kept with him this time, about a half car length into turn number 2, maybe a full car length into 2 and 3. Sorry, 3 and 4. Ringler up into the wall again, it looks like. Does he scrape it or not? Can't really tell, but he's definitely a little bit off the pace, losing spots quickly here. Ringler was up in the top 5, now down to 11th. Lipinski out in front still with a 1.1 second lead over the 15 of Coors. Rominger still 16th position, 1 lap down, but here is the caveat. He is no longer the first car 1 lap down. Joshua Deese in the 5 is the first car 1 lap down as he just gets passed by race leader Gary Lipinski. That may be the strategy move that you were considering there, Zach. You just didn't realize it.
Absolutely was. Yep, you called it.
But Gary Lipinski, that's a big move right there. He's going to put him a lap down. They just need to get through into this caution that's coming up here in about 5 laps to complete stage number 2. Definitely putting the challenge to Mike Rominger. Still, he's not out of this. Even if he doesn't get the lucky dog this time by, or this particular caution, he still has an opportunity. If the caution comes out, again, we had a lot of guys real loose corner exit on those fresh Goodyears. Plenty of guys having an opportunity to get into an incident and throw another caution. If that happens, Rominger then would be the first car 1 lap down. Then he would get the lucky dog, but it would be within stage 3 and then a abbreviated stage 3. Chris Goins in the stream chat. Millet had his crystal ball. Yeah, well, I don't know if he had a crystal ball. He had the right idea, but I think he was talking about something else.
Oh, no, definitely not. Definitely not.
Millet's
yeah,
a full send kind of guy. He's not really a thinker.
Absolutely. Just send it first, think about it later. No big deal.
Well, we joke, but it usually works out for him, so.
Yeah, once in a while. Definitely not at Eldora last night, that's for sure.
Well,
but
totally different animal, though. I mean,
yeah.
You're racing stock cars or trucks in that case on dirt. It's just, it was a fun race to watch. I'm not going to lie. It was very entertaining, but, I was telling you after the race as well. It's like, I despise it. I really hate driving those trucks on dirt or really anything stock car style. But, I had some success at it. You just hate it all around. I mean, you've won some dirt races, I believe, in the truck, but last night was tough. You had teammates in the way, and you're bumping doors with teammates, and it's never a good thing, never anything you want to have happen.
Yeah, it was tough. It's hard to be clean in race dirt. It feels, sometimes to get around people, you got to bump them around or slide them, and it just feels morally wrong sometimes.
Well, morals or not, we're on the last lap of stage number 2. Lipinski, plenty of space out back, 2.3 seconds to no Coors. Going to take stage 2 handily. We're going to love to talk to him about the incident with Rominger. Of course, it didn't involve him. It was in his rearview mirror, but he's going to cross the stripe here, take the stage 2 number win. Gary Lipinski, Coors, white, wit, and gray. Your top 5.
Caution. How you doing there, homeboy?
So caution is out once again. We're going to step aside and get another break out of the way, except we'll stay side by side so we can watch some pit stops, but we'll be back after this.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series final race of the year. We're going to bring Gary Lipinski back into the broadcast booth. Gary, it's Steve and Zach in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Stage 2 win, and it came pretty easy this time. Your championship contender there coming off turn 2 on the restart there had some trouble of his own. What did it look like in the mirror for you?
I'm honest with you, I really didn't see much of it. I had seen a couple of guys get loose a little bit, and kind of went off on the grass, and I thought it was going to be a caution, but it never came out. But I didn't know it was my contender, so not until about 4 laps later, and I looked down at relative, I said, where'd he go? And the guys told me he spun out.
Yep, Rominger spun, hit the inside wall, went down a lap, and you also lapped Joshua Deese before we got to the stage, so he did not get the lucky dog, I don't believe. So he's going to have to earn this one the hard way or hope for another caution to get him back into contention. But we're going to let you get back to it, Gary. Again, congratulations on the Stage 2 win. Good luck for Stage 3, and maybe we can win a championship here.
Oh, I'm hoping. Thank you.
Good luck, Gary.
Thank you.
It's Gary Lipinski, your current race leader, winner of Stage 1 and 2. We've seen him struggle in some races over the season where he's won the first 2 stages and then ended up not taking the checkered flag. We'll see if he can sweep the stages tonight. Zach, I mean, you've been doing this a long time. I think you've got, 10, 11 years on the service. How many times have you been in a situation where you just have a good, clean race to lock up a title, or even just, you've been kicking butt all night long, and then you just make a simple mistake on a restart and you throw it all away?
It happens more than I'd like to admit, Steve. Sometimes having a little bit of pressure on you is better for you. It makes you hit your marks because you kind of have to.
Right.
If you can run relaxed, sometimes it's just, I don't know, it's easier to crash, easier to spin out. Just, I don't know.
I find that when I'm following you at most places, I make more mistakes, and it's not because I'm trying to learn what you're doing. It's because I'm trying to go faster than you, and it doesn't always work.
And it's kind of the opposite for me sometimes. When I'm just ahead of somebody, I'm looking at my mirror more than out the windshield.
There's a reason the windshield is bigger than the mirror,
Yeah, I need a hot button to turn it right off.
Yeah, right.
That'd be great.
I'm sure there's a way. Second caution of the night, none for cause, though we got lucky or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, not getting the caution for Mike Rominger. Again, we would have loved to watch these two battle it out through this stage. It's not to say it can't happen if we get a caution before the stage is over and Rominger stays the first car 1 lap down. He would get that lucky dog, but you got to keep in mind there are other drivers that could be next on that list to go a lap down. It's a longer stage, longest one we've had all night long, and Lipinski's been on a blistering pace. If he starts lapping guys, it's going to be more difficult for Rominger once again. Pace car peels off.
Green.
Green flag waves. We're back underway. Loose off of turn number 2. We got trouble off the corner. This is going to be a yellow for sure. Caution is on the Speedway. We got big trouble off turn 2. We were just talking about that. Many drivers involved. Frank Gramuglia, Earl Latterell. I think Noel Kors was the one that ticked it all off. He's got damage to the nose of that machine. And here it is, right? Mike Rominger is going to get that lap back now. As long as he didn't get tied up in that, we're going to have to take a look to be sure. Rominger, does he look clean? He does. As long as he was not part of the caution, he should receive that lucky dog. Man, oh man.
Well, we kind of called it with those cold tires. We knew it was going to happen, but maybe not quite that big.
Well, let's go back and take a look at it here. We're going to watch the 15. It's already in progress. We're going to back it up a little further here. I hate doing the rewind, but it is what it is. And man, it looks a lot like what happened to Rominger. He was in that top side, coming off a 2, We'll go a little 10,000 camera angles here, but he was in the third spot on the high side. Out front is Lipinski. Craig White was second, and he tries to come down and catches the wake, and the car bobbles. I don't know if there's a bump there in the middle of turn 2, but it definitely upset the car. He comes around, and you'll see it here from the blimp. And it looks like Corey Gray had an issue as well by himself, but he straightens it out. Or does he? No, Corey Gray. Oh, boy. He comes up the track. He clips Paul Witt.
Ooh.
So we had 2 crashes at once going on here. Frank Gramuglia, big impact to the inside wall. And you see Rominger there, just kind of working his way through it. That's what we want to watch here. Let's watch from onboard of Mike Rominger here.
You might see just about everything here.
We'll back it up a little bit further. Yep, you see Coors loose up front. I think he sees it. He's starting to check up already. Coors comes back up the racetrack. He's trying to decide where to go. Rominger goes up top. No, he'll stay to the bottom. Let me go back down. Now Coors is still trying to save it. He's coming back to the bottom. Rominger smartly goes way down low. Then he's got trouble back up ahead of him. Threading the darn needle through this wreck. Nicely done by Mike Rominger. If he manages to take this championship, this is where he wins it.
Absolutely. But you know, if Mike doesn't slow down there, if he kept it pinned and stayed on the bottom, he would have been involved without a doubt.
Absolutely. If he keeps his foot in it, he's going to be a part of that. I think these guys do run 2 fast repairs, but that would defeat the purpose. I mean, yeah, it's good to have that second fast repair. He can get the car fixed and maybe hope for another caution, but he wouldn't get the lucky dog because he was part of it.
Right.
So Corey Gray, Mike Rominger, he's going to make a pit stop here. This is a good idea, I think, for the 951. Might as well. Unlimited tire sets. Top off the tanks. It's going to get him a little bit off cycle, but it's also going to give him a better opportunity to stay the first car 1 lap down. He's certainly going to be the fastest car a lap down. Just shy of the halfway point. Got 120 laps here. Total race distance. We are in stage number 3. Stage itself is about 70 laps. With that, we're going to take a very short break. Get one ad out of the way, and we'll be back with the restart after this.
The great thing about youth sports, they give young people an opportunity to participate in something that is going to broaden them as people.
I think it's very amazing that Garza Law Firm has made a commitment to help the youth kids with playing different sports.
Guys like Marcos Garza that put their time into being able to help these kids live out a dream. It's made me who I am today.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
So taking a look at timing and scoring, Rominger did officially receive that lucky dog. He's at the tail of the field, of course, so he did take tires and fuel. So again, it's only been a half a lap, but why not? Talking to Zach in the break, interesting strategy perspective. Go ahead, Zach.
Well, I know Mike's got a lot of cars to pass. It's definitely going to eat up some of his tires. While Gary's he's got the clean track ahead of him, so he can just run his own pace. But Mike, I think he could actually run this stint out, maybe about halfway, and then maybe take 2, and it might be just enough to get ahead of Gary. And depending on what lap they make these pit stops at, he could actually hold it off for the win.
Well, we're going to have to keep a look and see how this restart goes, if everybody can mind their P's and Q's, and we can get this thing going again without another half lap of caution. But it could work out. I mean, how do these cars handle on a 2-tire change, or does it matter if you're only going to go a handful of laps?
A handful of laps, that's really all I'd want to do. It's scary enough with 4 new ones. I'd hate to even imagine with only 2.
Well, we're going to find out here. Going to take the green flag here at lap 60. Be halfway. We complete the lap. Top 5, Gary Lipinski, Craig White, Mike Howlett, Norman Clark, Harold Decker. Rominger listed in the 12th position, so not a long ways to go, but green flag is out, back underway from Charlotte. Good jump for the 78. See how everybody gets off turn 2. Not pretty, but we got away with it. Still need another lap to get the heat in these tires. Howlett moves up into the 2nd spot over Craig White. White into 3rd. Further back in the pack, Harold Decker, Paul Witt. That's 5th and 6th. And then we've got James Randall, Corey Gray. And the 42 with Joe Green moving his way through the field with Mike Rominger already up 3 spots on that first lap, looking for his 4th down the back straightaway. Yeah, Chris Cohen's in the stream chat. 2 of the same wrecks 25 feet apart. It really was, Chris. I mean, it was the exact same spot on the racetrack, just about. Same scenario. Car was in the high lane, tried to come down a little bit lower, and the right rear just steps out. Again, you might be more familiar. You're a Charlotte native yourself, Chris. Is there a pretty big bump there on 2? Let us know in the stream chat.
Well, that's a great in-race reporter right there. You could literally just run to the track real quick, check it out, and let us know.
Oh, real loose. Joe Green in the dog leg. Saves the car. Again, a little handful off turn 4. Gathers it up on the flat through the dog leg at the start-finish line. That car's still out of shape. Still sideways through 1 and 2. Joe Green muscling that machine around. Joe just trying to find a comfortable place on the racetrack. He's up in the high line right now. The number 42, red and white. Into the wall, scrapes the outside safer barrier. He's having a trouble of a time. Latterell's going to take the spot. Lipinski still out front, about a 2nd advantage over the 33 of Howlett. And keep an eye on Joe Green here. He's been struggling the last couple of laps to get the handle on the right rear of that car.
Still fighting.
Oh, loose again.
Uh-oh.
In the dog leg. Now we got trouble. In through the dog leg. He's going to cut across. No, but the caution does come out.
Be ready with, there you go. Be ready with that brake clean and stuff, guys. Your blower, they're going to drop down some oil dragger.
That's just what we were talking about, Steve. You know, how it takes 3, 4, 5 laps to get those tires back down to normal temps after you kind of fighting it for a while.
Well, we saw he had the first issue, and it was just a struggle from then on. That's why we stuck with him. We kind of expected something to happen, and sure enough, it did off at turn 4. Go back and take a quick look at it again. He wasn't the only one. It looked like that might have been... Who was that with him? 5?
Good jump.
5 of Josh Deese. He straightened it out. Joe Green did not.
I think the 5 got a little air coming across there, too.
Through all that, you see our leader, Gary Lipinski.
I see that 5th place, too, there, Steve. Do you come in and get tires here?
I think you got to. And,
Yeah.
and honestly, I think Lipinski pits here. And I think if you're smart, you go with him.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to follow him down if he comes down.
It's not the situation where if the leader pits, everybody stays out. Because if that's the case, there's only 16 cars, not even 15 cars in a lead lap. Gary Lipinski on fresh rubber.
Yeah. Yep, it's game over.
They're coming down with him. Yeah, the whole top 10 and plus are going to make their way. You might have somebody stay out. We'll see. No, all the lead lap cars down pit lane once again, lap 67. So this will be interesting. I know we talked about Rominger maybe trying to gamble and take 2. Do you try it here just to see? You know, the way it's been going, you can almost try and gamble a little bit and think, yeah, we're not done having cautions.
Yeah, I think you could, but I think personally I'd just keep going with the 4-tire train.
That's what Lipinski's doing, Rominger as well. So 4 tires and fuel once again. Every chance they get. If they're going to hit pit lane, they're going to bolt on 4 fresh ones, it seems. Later in the race, that may change. We shall see. So I'm going to try and get... Is Mike Rominger available? Does not appear to be. I don't know. Mike, it's Steve and Zach in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
This Mike Rominger, correct?
No, Mike Howlett.
Oh, we got the wrong Mike. Oh, Mike, good luck the rest of the race, man. Thanks for piping in real quick. We're looking for Rominger.
Yes, sir. Go get him.
Well, it wasn't for a lack of trying. Doesn't appear that Rominger is in this Discord right now. I know he'll pop in later if need be. Rominger definitely in focus mode, so we're going to leave him alone. Not going to hunt him too much more here, but looks like it's Lipinski, White, Clark, and Rominger. Might be your top four when we go back to green here in a couple laps. So Chris Goins fires back. There is a slight bump, half a lane up that unloads the car for a second, but definitely exaggerated on cold tires. And I think you throw next gen into the mix and there's more exaggeration.
Yeah, incredible amounts.
Well, the good news is this is going to get interesting. With Rominger there in fourth, he's certainly going to have pace. Norman Clark, Craig White, both quick drivers. But I think ultimately by a race end, it's still going to come down to the 78 and the 951. That is kind of fitting. Again, coming into tonight, we'll take a look at the current points as they ran on the way into tonight. Was Rominger 358, Gary's Lipinski down by 2, Clark, Coors, Craig White. That was the top 5. Again, Norman Clark runs third in the race. He is still in this hunt too, so let's not discount Norman Clark. He has potential here, but something pretty significant is going to need to happen with Rominger and Lipinski. The way that they run now, Clark definitely going to finish this one out in third position. Coors, he is further down in the running order. He runs in the 8th spot, 4th in the points. Craig White, of course, in 2nd at the moment. Makes sense, though. Top 5 in points, guys, are all relatively close to the front of the field. You do that consistently throughout the course of the year. It's usually how you win championships. Lights are out on the pace car. Lap 70 will go back to green, so we are on the one to go. Now, who was your pick again? I already forgot.
Corey Gray.
Corey Gray. Corey Gray running in the 7th spot.
He's run a smart race so far. I think he'll get up there.
Field situated for a restart. 2x2. Pace car lights off. About to peel off the banking and get this one back underway.
Green flag.
Gary waited a long time to fire on that one. Everybody clean off too. That's good. Guys are starting to figure it out, I think. Oh, Harold Decker slides up, almost gets Paul Witt. More important battle out front. Gary's Lipinski. Mike Rominger, 1 and 2 once again.
Did not take long.
And Craig White takes the spot back, though, moves Rominger back to P3. Ooh, a little wiggle out of Craig White, though. That's nothing that Rominger wants to see. He does not want to get collected in another wreck. They do have another faster pair if they need it, but I don't know if you're going to have enough time to make it back if it's something significant.
Yeah, doing it once in this race is impressive enough, but twice might be pretty near impossible.
That's putting you in Dale Earnhardt category. I remember watching him go down 2 laps at Darlington, and he made him back under green and won the race.
Boy.
Yeah, I just dated myself. Thanks. Man's been dead for 21 years, and I remember a race he ran.
That's pretty bad.
So here's the question. Again, this is a much longer stage. Granted, we've had some cautions to break things up. Puts us in a 50-lap run, essentially, to the finish. Lipinski here running 30-18s. Craig White running sub-30s a lap ago. He's got some pace. Again, I don't know, and I've seen this a couple of times with Craig White throughout the season, is in that final stage, he just fires off and goes. You see these top 4 now. It's Lipinski, White, Rominger, and Witt. That's your top 4 as they work into 3. But is Lipinski in a mode here where he's trying to save? Because Rominger really didn't put up much of a fight on Craig White either. Is he in a save mode as well?
I think they are, Steve. I think they're planning this big picture. I think, you know, Gary was saying how good his car is in the long run and how confident he is with it. So I think this is just part of the game plan.
White slides up out of the groove here, opens the door for Rominger. He does not go through it. Good run off of 4. Rominger watching Craig White here. Is he watching him burn up his stuff, or is he trying to learn something here?
Mike's going to love this if he puts some pressure on Gary.
Well, that's just, I mean, it really, I think, puts Rominger in a great position here. He can kind of sit back and relax for a little bit. If Craig White's got the pace now, because Lipinski's trying his damnedest to save, takes a lot of discipline to not try and pick up the pace when you got a fast guy behind you.
Yeah, and you know, I think Lipinski's just going to let him by here. I think he's not going to fight too hard, I don't think.
Yeah, because frankly, in the position that he is in, with winning stages 1 and 2, and with the tiebreaker, I believe Lipinski's still in position to win the championship if he finishes second, if Craig White wins. But doesn't take long. Lipinski goes back to the bottom. I don't know how long he's going to want to do this. A little wiggle off of 2. It's dangerous.
You know, that right front doesn't like being pinned down there in the bottom for these many laps.
Yeah, we're about 3 laps into this side by side. Definitely not helping Gary's Lipinski. You know, Craig White is in the championship battle here himself, so he's trying to get every point he can get. He's not going to cut the 78 any slack, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, he's got to do what he has to do for sure. Great battle, though. I think Rominger's just riding back there in third with the steering wheel in his left hand and a bag of popcorn in the right.
Or ice cream.
Or beer.
Wow, we don't drink and drive, Zach.
Oh, of course. No, definitely not.
Battle tightening up front, though. Rominger's, yeah, I want a piece of this. Let's get involved. And almost I think it's kind of helping Zlipinski. I don't know if the draft is that much of an effect here at Charlotte, but he got up under there, and it seemed to give Zlipinski a bit of a push back towards the front as White falls back into second. Now Rominger here is going to go to the bottom, or maybe the 3 just burned up his stuff on the top side. Maybe it's kind of the opposite here. It's hard to say. Craig White trying to battle back on the bottom. Great battle for the top 3 spots here at Charlotte. Race number 10. Wolfart Sim Racing Concrete Floors Company Next Gen Cup Series. Final race of the season. We will decide the champion here tonight. Again, the top 2 separated by only 2 points as they came into tonight. And they are separated now by maybe car lengths on the racetrack. First and third, the top 2. Craig White running there in the second spot on the outside. I think he's 5th in points. He gets a piece of the wall. Scrapes the safer barrier. That's going to open the door for Rominger. Not quite enough. Oh, almost contact. Wasn't quite clear. Quick hands for the 951 to save it.
Going to hurt both of them, unfortunately. They're both going to lose a little bit of ground.
Either way, it's going to give clear sight to the leader of Zlipinski for Mike Rominger as they worked off turn number 2 down the back straightaway. 84 laps up on the board. We're going to step aside, get a side-by-side break out of the way. You won't miss a minute of the action. We'll stay with it. We'll be back after this.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Jumping back in, caution on the Speedway. Possibly Michael Howlett involved in this one. Cookie Monster himself having some trouble on the racetrack. Let's see if we can get a look at it. Little loose off of 4. Tries to take the chicane for the Roval. Doesn't quite make it work. Little airborne and through the turf. No caution yet. Might have been going too slow here. This is typically where they throw the yellow. If you're a little off the pace with anybody behind you. There was nobody behind them, but they threw it anyway. iRacing caution. It was an iRacing caution for sure. There's no admin cautions, I don't believe. Now again, Zach, I know you didn't make a fuel run here, but we'll probably get the green here at lap 90, 91. That'll give us about 30 laps to the finish. These guys good to go from here on in?
You know, I'm not sure, Steve, but I would think so. I would think that they could make it.
Full fuel. I'm thinking 30 laps should be enough.
This changes the strategy, though. This is going to be a 4-tire and sprint to the finish if we can stay under green.
Absolutely, and I think this likely going to be the final stop, the money stop per se, as long as we don't get another caution. Because again, if we get another caution in 15, 20 laps, you know they're going to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Not enough cars in the lead lap for some guys to come in and some guys not. Earl lateral to the box, Paul Witt, Noel Coors. Zlipinski real slow and calm and careful into the box. If anything, he's losing time there, but still gets the right sides in the air before Rominger. Does have that preferred pit exit. You can just dump the clutch and go. Quick stop for both Zlipinski and Rominger. Well, Chris Cohn said it before about 5 minutes ago. He says exactly what Mike wants to see in the third for sure. And I think that was referring to the battle between Slipinski and Craig White.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
You know, we talked about it early in the broadcast. We root for storylines. That's kind of how we operate in the broadcast world. Of course, we have our favorites, but we'll never tell. But it's turned into that. It's good to see Rominger was able to overcome that issue, that crash that he had on the back straightaway, used the fast repair, lost the lap, was lucky enough to be the lucky dog, and here he is sitting second, trying to win this championship. I think Slipinski might have him covered, but it's certainly going to be a good one to watch all the way to the finish to see if the 951's got anything for that 78. So, Zach, if you're the 78, are you full send mode now?
Oh, I don't know. It's I might revert back to the first stage. You know, if I could run behind him, save my stuff, stay in the draft, not run hard. You know, and then maybe pass him with, I don't know, 5 to go or so. But then you got to worry about how hard Mike's going to fight back. You know, because he's not just going to give it up.
You know, he did say he had a fast long run car. You know, I think 30 laps is about the shortest long run he's going to want.
Looking forward to see how he's going to play it.
Be lap 91 when we go back to the green flag, so it will be a 30-lap, relatively short stint to the finish. Remember, stage 1 was 25 laps. That clicked off in a hurry.
Another thing in Lipinski's favor is it looks like him and Rominger run the same line. They're both low through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So whoever's going to be in second place after this restart, they're going to have to find that different line to get around him.
And I know they're moving pretty good here at Charlotte, but do we see the bumper?
Well, I certainly have gotten both ends of it at Charlotte and some past races, so I know it's there, and I know it could happen. So we'll see. I don't know.
I mean, we've seen these guys operate. They're usually a really clean bunch. If they can't pass them clean, they're not going to make the pass. But that's for a race win. This is for a title. This is the championship. You know, Rominger is aggressive, and I don't say that in a bad way. That's a good thing. That's how you win some races. You know, Earnhardt said it best. You know, you drive like that, and sometimes you wreck the race car, and sometimes you win races too.
Gonna be a toss-up.
We'll see. Pace car lights off, getting ready to peel off the banking once again. Maybe we'll make it 30 laps. Maybe we'll run this whole thing from green to checker. We'll see, but it's going to be 30 to go to decide a championship here from Charlotte, USA. Slipinski holds the field down through the Geico restart zone. In the gas, and we're back underway. Oh, Craig White, dirt tracking it off turn 2. He straightens it out.
What a save.
Good battle here for this position. Paul Witt loose off of 4. He's going to hit the wall. Keeps it slow. We might get a yellow for this depending on where he rejoins. Well, off the pace is Paul Witt, but the caution does not come out. Looks like Earl Lateral had a moment off of turn number 2, gathers it back up.
Earl Lateral up to
We do have a caution. Big trouble.
I know, man.
Into turn number 3, 4 cars involved, it appears. Alan McEwen, James Randall, Josh Deese. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, let's take a look at the replay, see if we can catch exactly what brought this one out. Alan McEwen will go watch him. Ooh, contact with the 45 and the 42. That's Joe Green in the black. I'm sorry, the red and white. Sends the 45 across into Joe Deese. Oh, hits the opening. Big time impact. Shoots the 5 into the path of the 69. That's James Randall, and then clips the minion, the 77. That's Mike Martin. Martin drives away with the least amount of damage, but yeah, that was a big one.
It just kept happening.
Yeah, it looks like Joe Green gets into the outside wall first and then clips the right rear of the 45. Sends him into the path of Joe Deese. Oh, man. You watch wrecks like that, and you're just glad this is a sim.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that would have been the big one. Well, there you have it. Shortens this stage up more. Every time this happens, it goes to the advantage to Mike Rominger. It was Lipinski saying he has a long-run car, but we're going to get another break out of the way. Stay with us, folks. We'll be back after this.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Charlotte Motor Speedway. 25 laps to go. Old Fart Sim Racing Next Gen Cup Series, the Concrete Floors Company Next Gen Cup Series. Race number 10, the finale here at Charlotte. Close points battle on the Speedway and on the track. It's kind of the same thing, but Gary Lipinski came in 2 points down. Currently leads this race. He's won stage 1, won stage 2. Likely has evened up that points battle, but he's out in front. Mike Rominger is second. That is the points leader coming into tonight. Either of these drivers finishes out in front of the other. I believe that would give them the championship. I know with the stage wins, it may have evened things up, but now I think it's just a matter of win the race, win the title. Again, we're seeing some issues here with these restarts. We've seen it all night long. Cold tires, not a whole lot of grip in the right rear. Guys having trouble off turn 2 initially. Now it seems turn 4. This part of it, I think it started off turn number 2. Wasn't so much a loose tire issue. Was he had a driver, the 42 of Joe Green, got into the outside wall and then clipped the 45, and the melee was on. Pace car pulls off. 24 to go at the line.
Ready, green flag.
Back to green flag. Field looking pretty clean off turn 2 down the backstretch once again. We got one car going to the inside here. Wasn't sure who it was. Didn't catch it. Howlett possibly. He's in a battle with Harold Decker for position. Cookie Monster trying to do it. Decker loose off of 4. Gets by the gas man Frank Gramuglia as well. Move Michael Howlett back into the top 5. 22 laps to go. Closer eye on the championship battles. Zlipinski still out in front. Rominger, hot pursuit. Car length off the back bumper of the number 78 Cone Police machine. Less than 0.2 of a second. Closes it down to a 10th in the middle of 1 and 2. Earl Lateral has worked his way quietly into the top 3. Currently runs in that 3rd spot. Noel Kors, Mike Howlett, the rest of the top 5.
You know, Steve, I think if I'm Mike, I want to get out in front as quick as possible. I want to control this race, maybe try to take Gary's line away.
Is he listening to you? Because it looks like he's trying to make a move for the lead here off of turn number 2. Look to the outside, tucks back in behind.
I think he's almost got to make this move while he's still got a little grip left, even if he sacrifices some to do it.
Off turn 4 here, 19 laps to go as Lipinski maintains the top spot.
Great run. There
Taking a look to the inside. Not quite enough. I think he might have given him a break on that one. I think he had a nose in there enough to stick it to the bottom.
Everybody gets one, Steve. Let's see if it happens again.
Yep.
Caution's out.
Man, caution on a Speedway once again. Paul Witt possibly involved in this. No, Harold Decker. Harold Decker and Norman Clark involved into turn number 3 with 18 to go. I think you see pit stops now.
I was just going to say, Steve, how many green flag laps was that?
Oh, pushed him all the way down the straightaway. Let's back this up, see if this precipitated somewhere else. Norman Clark gets to the outside. Or does he? Oh, tried to stick the nose in. Decker's coming up. Turns the 9 into the wall.
Yeah, you see that all the time here at Charlotte. These cars slide up so quick, you know.
And with that, I mean, he was right there. You know, Harold was probably coming up just as his spotter started to say outside, and by then it's too late.
Yep. Lots of pit stops here.
Lipinski down pit road. Rominger as well.
So Gary's beat you off pit road if you're Mike all night long. Is it worth the gamble? Do you do too?
We're going to find out. What if Gary does the same thing?
Let's see.
Right side's in the air for both drivers. They've been lockstep all night long in the pits. Crew around to the left sides. Left sides as well. Can't chance
Both playing
it.
it safe.
Careful getting out of the pits. He doesn't drop the clutch and light him up. Taking care of those tires the best he can.
Craig White, though, I think took 2 tires. That was a smart play.
Yeah, Craig White's stop was 15.6 seconds. That's a 4-tire stop. Curious how he got in and out of pit lane so much faster than those guys. Norman Clark was a 14.80. Oh, that was lap 87, though. They stayed out. So Howlett and Clark to stay on the racetrack. Clark was involved in that crash, so... How does he have no damage, but he didn't pit? So first car on fresh tires is Gary's Lipinski. Craig White pit at lap 93. Rominger, yeah, everybody took 4.
Interesting.
So the drivers that took 4, or for that matter, the drivers that didn't stay out, was Lipinski, Rominger, Lateral, Frank Gramuglia, that's the gas man, Noel Kors, Corey Gray, Paul Witt, Joe Green, James Randall, and Harold Decker. Of course, Decker involved in that incident on the backstretch. Needed to get repairs done. Norman Clark was also in that. I'm surprised he didn't have to hit pit lane. It says he was down the pits at lap 87, the last. This is lap 103 pit cycle, so I'm curious to see how this is going to work out.
Yeah, this might be interesting. Looks like lap 93 for Craig White. So, a little bit of strategy here. It's really the first time we've seen our 2 championship contenders in traffic, too, so this might get interesting.
Well, that's the thing, too. You got to tiptoe through these guys. I know that the guys that are gambling here, they're not slow guys, but they're going to be slower than you because they're on older tires. The difference is, again, we talked about it so much tonight, the fresh tires seem to be dangerous for the first couple of laps. So these guys with the fresher or the older tires may be in a better situation just to kind of get going. Now, over the long run, that's not going to be beneficial, but we got 16, 15 laps to go here.
Yeah, it's just a shootout. There could be more cautions, too. This could be a pretty good play for the end of this race.
So pace car lights are off. We're going to get the restart with 14 laps to go. And we're going to cross the fingers here again to hope that we can go 14 laps without having an issue. But it's go time. These guys have minded their P's and Q's most of the night. We've had our share of issues, but I don't think it's sloppy driving by any means. I think it's all been tire related. Kind of like real life, huh?
Yeah, absolutely is.
But maybe we can go 14 laps, get it all the way to the checkered flag, find out who our champion is going to be, and settle the Concrete Floors Company Next Gen Series in some style, maybe some excitement, maybe some cars upside down and backwards and on fire at the start-finish line. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a pretty good chance.
So one thing I'm wondering is when iRacing's going to add the car fires to the sim.
You know, if it's all about realism, they better get started.
All right. Speaking of car fires, Jordan Anderson involved in a fiery truck crash at Talladega last weekend. Treated and released, second-degree burns in lots of places. He will heal up, thank God, but that was a scary one. Pace car peels off. Howlett brings them to green. Flag waves. We're back underway. Lipinski pushing Craig White. Oh, I don't like the look of this.
No, this is pretty tight.
Off turn
Here's
number
that
2.
spot.
Let's see how it goes. Oh,
no!
Rominger in trouble.
Hang on to it.
Saves the car. Not what he was looking for. He's got a lot more work to do now.
Not to mention those tires are
Harold Decker
hot.
loose in front of him. Rominger now back to the 11th position on that restart, was in the top 5. Again, does have fresher tires than many of the drivers out there, but he still has a lot of work to do, and he's running out of time.
Got a lot of ground to make up.
Craig White to the lead now. Lipinski now up to 2nd. Would be a shoe-in for the championship in this position where Rominger currently runs. Craig White, of course, pit lap 93, 10 lap older tires on that machine. Again, many of those laps under caution, though, so they're pretty equal.
Yeah, Steve, I think he called it, though. He had a much better restart. He could, his tires were already up to temp and feeling pretty safe.
Well, that's kind of what we've seen with these things, is once they get a heat cycle on them, they get a little bit more cooperative, I guess is the word you can use, but as this run goes on, that's all going to kind of evaporate. Things are going to equalize. The fresher tire is going to be better. It's not so much that they wear out, but they fall off.
Yeah, look at that lap time by Gary Lipinski at 29.83 that last time by.
Yep, fastest one of the day for Gary Lipinski, 29.83 seconds. That is the fastest overall, fastest lap of the day for the 78 for the entire field. Tell you though, Earl Latterell looking strong there in the 3rd spot. He's run a 29.93 his last time by, only 100th slower than his fastest lap of the day. Lipinski goes to the bottom, trying to take the top spot from Craig White with 8.5 laps to go. Down the back straightaway, they're going to drag race down into turn number 3. Latterell in the mix as well. He was going to try and follow Lipinski on through, maybe take the spot from Craig White as well before he can tuck down to the bottom. A little wiggle for Earl. Through the dog leg, 8 laps to go. New leader, Gary Lipinski, back to the point. Craig White doing a good job keeping that 2nd spot.
Nice looking trunk lid on that car.
It is, very nice.
Earl's showing some strength here.
Certainly one thing I want to mention here before we're out of here. I know we're going to do a talk post-race, but appreciate the support that this Old Fart Sim Racing League has given us here at HBR TV. Many of the drivers running the HBR TV logos on their cars. I did not ask them to do that. That's not part of the deal. They took it upon themselves. In fact, they said, hey, is it okay? Absolutely. It is okay. I certainly appreciate you guys doing that and supporting the channel. It's really nice to see, and I appreciate it. Gary Z still out in front over Earl Latterell. Earl's taking the 2nd spot. It's about 3/10, a little less the advantage for the 78 as he works into turn number 3. Work his way through here, around back to start finish. It'll be 5 laps to go when he gets to the line. Rominger has still fought his way back up into the top 6. Won't be long. He's trying to work on Norman Clark. Again, Norman pit lap 87, so it should not take long for Rominger to get back top 5. Now the question is, if we get a caution here in the next 4 laps, what do we do? It's still not over. We've seen Rominger keep fighting back. He will not go away. Taking 5th spot here into turn number 3. If we get another caution, does he dump down pit road again, get more tires, or does he stay on the old ones? This is the scenario. Okay, they pit at lap 103. We're on lap 116. Remember the guys that stayed out the last time? They did pretty good for a few laps. Now it could come down to, okay, well, does Lipinski stay out, or does Rominger pit, or vice versa? Just throwing scenarios out there. We don't have a caution yet to even worry about, so.
I think we're so late in this race. I think whatever the leader doesn't do is what you do.
Absolutely. 3 laps to go. Gary Lipinski still out in front, starting to get some daylight between himself and the 12 of Latterell. 3/4 second advantage back to P2 now. He's got 3.5 seconds back to his point contender, Mike Rominger. That's in the 5th position. About a straightaway between the two. Rominger trying to make a move on Craig White. He's looking for 4th.
He's doing everything he can, that's for sure.
He's doing everything he needs to, but that caution we talked about isn't going to come. White flag in the air one more time around for the 78 of Gary Lipinski. A race win, possibly a championship. Earl Latterell runs 2nd. Noel Kors is 3rd. Rominger's 4th. Lipinski's won stage number 1. He's won stage number 2. Can he seal it here today at Charlotte Motor Speedway? Off turn number 4, checkered flag in the air. Gary Lipinski wins it. 2nd goes to Earl Latterell. 3rd place, Noel Kors. Mike Rominger takes home the 4th spot. Gary Lipinski doing his celebration here. 2,500 RPM burnout. That's impressive. That's hard to do with these cars. And Gary loses the engine on the burnout. Very cool. All right, with that, we're going to step aside. We're going to get a break out of the way. Hopefully have our top 3 finishers in the booth for interviews after this. Stay with us.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Old Farts Sim Racing League, the Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series. Season finale, it's in the books. Race winner Gary Zlipinski joining us up in the broadcast booth. Well, it's me and Zach. You got a good copy? I know we were already talking to you, but it's good to have you here. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a blast. It's been really a blast today. I had a lot of fun.
So you won stage 1, you won stage 2. We talked to you after both of those. That went very well. You had some plans for stage 3, but I know you did not expect your closest contender, Mike Rominger, to have the problems that he did. Of course, he did quickly battle back, got the lap back, the lucky dog, and he was right there. And then almost had another big moment late in the stage, and it seemed to be all she wrote for him. But tell us about your race, the strategy you had coming in. Did you stick to things? I know we talk about that quite a bit, whether it's tires every time. Do you take two? Do you stay out? What was the game plan coming in, and how did you execute?
Yeah, my game plan was to take care of my tires in the beginning, because that was everything in the beginning, is taking care of the right front, especially those first 15 laps. I figured if I can just hang with them, or just kind of give them the dirty air. If I had, if I was out front, just give them the dirty air. Use that to my advantage, but kind of keep it at my pace, save the right front. And I knew at that lap 15, I was just going to start walking away eventually, especially if guys run the high line. I knew that run the high line ain't going to last long. So I was like, run that high line, see how long it lasts. So
right.
I waited for those guys to run the high line, and I knew eventually me running the low line, saving my tires, it was just a matter of time, and it worked out. So I was quite excited. So it was tough, but I had a lot of fun.
Well, tough is always good for the broadcast because it means it's not a snooze fest. Even though you pretty much did dominate tonight, I'm sure you led the most laps. You swept all the stages and then came from the second position in the points to win the championship. So again, congratulations on the win and that title. But man, it was a good race to watch. I really would have liked to see how stage 2 would have panned out with you and Rominger going to battle there. It just didn't work out. But again, overall, good race. Good job by you guys.
Yeah, it really was. I saw him coming, and I was like, wow, he's a lap down. This guy's a lap down, and he came back. I was just like, wow, awesome. And he was in my mirror, and things didn't work out for him, and I feel really bad. But it's been really fun, and I really thank him and all these other guys out here.
Well, again, congratulations, Gary. It's been fun to watch. It's pretty cool to see the Cone Police taking the championship here tonight. We'll let you dump out of here, but before we do, is there anybody you want to thank on the season?
I would like to thank Earl. He did a lot of hard work into this, and I would really like to thank him and the Old Farts and other guys behind the scenes, Craig, you guys. It all takes a team, and you guys did an awesome job, and I just really appreciate it. HRB Racing, iRacing. Without iRacing, we wouldn't be out here, these old guys, and I really appreciate iRacing, and my family for letting me do this every night.
Family is the key. Always got to get that taken care of. Again, Gary, congratulations from me to you. Really appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate the league, the Old Farts and all that. It's been a fun season to call, and I really thought it was a joke when Earl came to me. He says, oh, yeah, we're the Old Farts. I'm like, oh, boy, what am I getting myself into? But I'm really glad I stuck it out and watched some of these races, of course, called them. We missed a couple. I had pit stop cover for you guys. It was good, but the season's been great, and I hope to do more of these in the future with you. So good talking to you.
Thank you. These guys do an awesome job. We always put on a great show, so everybody out there, we'll be back. If we come back, come out and watch these guys. They do an awesome job.
All right, Gary. Nice job. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Next, we're going to go to Earl Latterell, pull our second place finisher into the broadcast booth. Earl, it's Steve and Zach Millett in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do. Hi, guys.
Earl, congratulations on a runner-up finish here tonight. 10 positions better than where you started the night. What was the key to success around this place?
Mostly just patience. Patience and letting the race come to me. That's how I handle that situation for the most part.
We certainly see that most of the races with you. You're not always a big qualifier, but you are always in contention near the end of these things.
Yeah, I don't think I qualified for one or two of the races. I typically don't qualify, And tonight we had a very loose setup, so I wasn't exactly sure how it was going to go on anyway. So, but I like coming up to the field. I need to practice.
So let's talk about the setup as far as that's concerned. I think you guys run a fixed setup, but it's based on some tweaking that you guys do behind the scenes. Is that correct?
That's correct. Harold Decker, he does our, we have him do the setups. We found in the beginning, as you well know, the fixed setups are less than ideal, and with a little bit of tweaking, we don't go crazy with them, right? We just take the fixed setup and just loosen it up. Somehow this one was quite loose.
Now, as far as it being loose, we noticed it was pretty severe, at least early on in the run. Did it really get any better as the tires got heat into them?
It did. It got better, and actually, I would say after about 15 or 20, it actually started. The front end started. You started losing the front end. So it's still haven't really got this car totally figured out for setups, to be honest with you.
Well, NASCAR doesn't have it figured out either, so that's okay.
There you go. So we're fine.
Well, Earl, tell us about it. You said you had to work your way through the field, and that's kind of how you like to do it. How was it tonight? I know with the loose race car and the cold tires in some instances, we did have a few cautions out there. How was it trying to kind of knife your way through up into the top three?
It was actually good tonight. I mean, I thought that all the members did a very good job driving tonight, and like I said, it takes mainly patience. I'm not all that great at this track. It's not one of my better tracks for sure. So, just wait for the right time and don't make crazy moves, and the race sort of comes to you.
Well, it certainly did. Almost got a win out of the deal. P2 for Earl Lateral. Congratulations on that. And again, I'm glad to have you up here in the broadcast booth for our final race of the season. I want to say thank you for having me come aboard to do these races for you guys. Again, I know we missed a couple of them just due to some certain circumstances. I do appreciate you working with us on it, and we came to it, and we made it work, and we got to the end.
Yeah, you guys have done a great job. I'm very happy that we've gotten together, and we'll do some more stuff. Very very happy with your work. Very very nicely done.
Thanks for the kind words there, Earl. Before we let you go, anybody else you need to thank?
Yeah, I just want to thank all the members of the Old Farts Racing. Right, without them, we don't have a league. And I got my admins Craig and Harold for doing the setups, and Frank come on board, and everybody that helps us. It takes a teamwork to do it. Noel and Mike Howlett, it's all of us. It's not any one person. The league is its own entity as far as I'm concerned. So thanks to all those guys, and thanks for Concrete Floors for doing the sponsorship.
You nailed it. All right, Earl, thanks for talking to us, man. I'm sure we'll be in touch. Have a good rest of the night.
Okay, thanks, bud. Bye-bye.
Earl Lateral, your second place finisher. Looks like we are going to get to Mike Rominger as well, but first we're going to go to third place, Noel Coors. We'll pull him up into the booth here. Noel, it's Steve and Zach in the broadcast booth. You got a good copy?
Can you hear me, guys?
I got you loud and clear. You got us?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear, man.
All right. Bringing that number 15 High Rock Vodka home to a third place finish. Congratulations on that. You had early race struggles, but you battled back and finished in the top three. Tell us about your night.
Yeah, I just got in trouble early on and didn't keep the car clean, and I got in a little trouble on a restart there. I think at lap 60 or something. But anyway, we got her gathered back up, but I didn't have the speed for Gary and Mike. Me and Earl we got up there and got close, but guys they ripped. But it was a heck of a race, heck of a season.
Certainly was. It was fun one to watch, and I got to admit, I'm a fan of the High Rock Vodka. That's a Dale Jr. product, and I don't know if you put it on there because you are too, or what the case may be, but it's a good-looking paint job, and it's a great product.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wouldn't put it on there if I wouldn't. Earnhardt fan to the bone. So, yeah.
All right, Noel. Well, again, congratulations on the third place finish. Congratulations on a good season here in the Concrete Floors Next Gen Series. We're going to let you go. We're going to bring Mike Rominger up here, but before we do, anybody that you need to thank for the season?
I'd like to thank Old Farts Sim Racing first and foremost. You guys for broadcasting the race. We really appreciate it. We've had an awesome season and a lot of good racing, and my family. So thank you and have a good night.
All right, Noel. Thanks for talking to us, man. Have a good night.
See ya.
All right, now we're going to pull Mike Rominger into the booth. Mike, it's Steve and Zach in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
You got us, Mike?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, there we go. I see you jumped into the booth. I'm glad you're here. We wanted to talk to you. It was a hard-fought battle for this championship. You and Gary up at the front for most of the night. You had your issues in the second stage. I think it was on the restart. Went a lap down, got the lucky dog in stage 3, got back to the front, and then late restart. Looks like you had more trouble off turn number 2. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I was just trying to get too much out of the tire. So, I was going for it. I was trying to get back up to him and make it a good one.
That last caution, I think you guys had the opportunity to pit and take tires late. I know you and Gary both took 4. Was there any thought of trying to take 2?
No, because it would have just been too loose. Yeah, I thought, the best thing to do is take 4 and try to inch my way up to him and try to get under him.
Well, Mike, it was certainly a good season to watch. You came in tonight 2 points to the good. Unfortunately, not able to lock up that championship, but man, you made a good race out of it. You made mine and Zach's job real easy up here in the booth because it was a fun one to watch. So congratulations on that. Do we expect to see you back for the next season?
Oh, yeah. If they have me back, I'll come.
Oh, I'm sure they'll have you.
Awesome.
Well, Mike,
thank you, guys.
Thank you. And before we let you go, is there anybody else you want to thank for getting you through this season?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody up at the booth. Everybody that puts up the league. The owners, the sponsors. Everybody in the league is really chill and they race you good, and it is a very good league. I'm happy. I wish I would have, came in first in the championship, but it didn't happen. Gary's a good dude, and he deserves that. And so, congratulations to him.
Well, Mike, again, thanks for jumping up into the channel here and giving us an opportunity to have a couple of words with you. Good luck going into the next season, man. We'll see you then.
All right. Thank you.
It's Mike Rominger, your championship runner-up, I believe. The points are not official, but I think that's where he would have ended up anyway. That's going to wrap it up here. We're going to take a look at our race results, at least wrapping up the interview portion of our program. Gary Lipinski, of course, your winner. We talked to him. Earl Latterall was P2. Third place went to Noel Kors. Mike Rominger was 4th. Craig White was 5th. The gas man, Frank Gramuglia, finished in P6. Harold Decker was 7th. 8th position went to Corey Gray. Norman Clark was 9th. Paul Witt finished in the 10th position. Mean Joe Green, the number 42, finished 11th. Mike Howlett was 12th. James Randall, 13th. Mike Martin, 14th. Joshua Deese in the 5, he finished 15th. 16th, Alan McEwen. Trent Ringler had a tough night. The 22 finished 17th, 69 laps down. And David Werner, I don't think took the green flag, credited with the 18th position. 19th was also David Wasselchuk. Same situation. I don't think they were in the race specifically, as they were 120 laps, full race distance down at race conclusion. So we were going to write them off as did not start. But that's your race results here from Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Concrete Floors Next Gen Series, presented by the Old Farts Sim Racing League. It's been a fun one. Again, we've talked about it a bunch here. This is the final race of the season. This was the championship. It's over. It was quick. It went by fast. It really did. I know we missed some races here and there due to some scheduling conflicts. But it is what it is. We made it work, and we'd love to be back here with Old Farts, whether it's in the next gen, ARCA, truck, road course stuff. It doesn't matter. Whatever they're interested in, if we've got a day available for them, we'd be happy to be back. We hope that you feel the same way. Most of all, though, we do appreciate being here. It's going to wrap it up for us here, though. Congratulations to Gary Lipinski. I got to thank Zach Millett for jumping in the booth while I am under the weather. I know I still did a lot of talking tonight, but you have no idea how much you help, sir. I do appreciate it.
Anytime, Steve. I love being up here. It's definitely a lot more relaxing watching the race from up here than being in it. So anytime you need me, I'm here for you, man.
All right, Zach. Well, again, I appreciate it. You do nice work, and we'll get you learned up even better. You get better and better at this thing. It'd be good to go. All of a sudden, you can have my job.
I don't know about that, but I'll take all the lessons I can get.
Zach's good enough to win races on the regular, so he doesn't want to be in the booth.
Once in a while, I'm okay with.
Well, again, that's going to do it from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Gary Lipinski winning the race and the title. For Zach Millett, I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV saying thanks, guys. Have a good night.